here's your review for your word problems. We start out, Lila has 3 investments, so we start with her let statement. Let X equal her first amount of her first investment, Y equal the amount of her second investment, and Z equal the amount of her third investment. We know together that they're going to total $70,000. There's your first equation. Now, she gets these at 7, 9, and 11%. So at 0.07, at 0.09, at 0.11. Okay, the income, the total income from all of these, from her interest, and your interest, the simple interest, principal times rate, is $6,900. So second equation, 0.07 times the first amount, 0.09 principal times rate for the second amount, and principal times rate for the third amount gives us our $6,900. We look for one more since we have 3 variables, and we say this. The income from the 11, interest income from the Z, exceeds the total of the other 2 by $1,900. That means if we added the Z, if we took your Z, interest, and we added the other 2, sorry, this is 0.09y. If we added this, the 11 is still going to be higher than the total of these 2 by 1,900. So we need to add 1,900 to this side. This equation you have to work with to get it set up to say x, y, z constant. So I'm going to move these guys over to the other side. So negative 0.07x, negative 0.09y, plus 0.11z equals 1,900. Could you move the 1,900 and the 11 back? Absolutely. Now you have 3 equations. So let's build our matrix. 1, 1, 1, 70,000. 0.07, 0.09, 0.11, 6,900. Now watch the negatives. 0.07, negative 0.09, 0.11, 1,900. You're going to do RREF, and it's going to come out, and it's going to tell you that X is 10,000, that Y is 20,000, and that Z is 40,000. There's your 3 investments. This one is very similar. Bart has, again, 3 investments. Let X equal the first amount, and it's at 5%. So turn these into decimals. Y equal another amount at 7%. And Z equal your third amount at 9%. His 3 investments, just like the last one, X plus Y plus Z, this is what he's investing, was $90,000. His interest earned is 5, 7, and 9. So therefore, his total income from his interest, remember principal times rate equals your simple interest, is 6,700. So 0.05x plus 0.07y plus 0.09z is 6,700. And then we have to find one more. And again, their 9% exceeded the total from the other 2, just like the last one. 0.09z exceeded the other 2's interest by 500. So we have to add 500 to that side. And again, we're going to put this in XYZ format. So I subtracted the X and the Y from both sides. If you want to build it the other way, that's absolutely fine. So you've got 1, 2, 3 equations. So let's take out your matrix. 1, 1, 1, 90,000, 0.05, 0.07, 0.09, negative 0.05, negative 0.07, 09, and 500. RREF will yield you that X is 20,000, Y is 30,000, and Z is 40,000. These are the amounts that he invested at each interest rate to give him his total income interest. Your third one, this is a nice one. This is magazine subscriptions. And again, Roy is going to sell 3 different types of magazines at different costs. So we want to know how many he sold of each so we can figure out how many $17 ones he sold. So the number that he sold at $29, Y is the number that he sold at $26, and Z is the number that he sold at $17. Now, we notice as we read that it sold a total of 37 subscriptions. So there's your X plus Y plus Z equals 37. The money that he makes in his total sales is $866. So whatever X he sold, he multiplied them by 29. Whatever Y he sold, he multiplied them by 26. And whatever Z he sold, he multiplied by 17 to make $866. And here's your next one. He sold 3 fewer of the 29, which is X, than of the Y. That means if I start like this, and he sold fewer of the X's, I have to do the Y, I have to do the Y minus 3. Y has to be more. Like if I sold 10 Y's, I sell 7 X's, which is what he's trying to say. So my third equation is X equals Y minus 3. Could you do X plus 3 equals Y? Absolutely. So let's get this in order. Now you've got your 3 equations. So build your matrix. It's 1, 1, 1, 37, 29, 26, 17, 866, 1, negative 1, 0 for your Z, and negative 3. Once you build this, you'll find he sold 10 subscriptions at $29, 13 subscriptions at $26, and here's the answer that we wanted. 14 subscriptions at $17. That's the question we have to answer. Okay, number 4, again we're making investments. We have 3 different accounts. So let X equal the first amount at 5.5 is 0.055. Let Y equal the second amount at 7%. And Z equal your third amount at 4.5, 0.045%. Okay, so we know our 3 pieces, and again, his 3 investments that he put the money into totaled $500,000. Watch the zeros on this because you have large numbers. We noticed his income after 1 year from his interest, principal times rate equals interest, is $3,100. So we can multiply each one by their interest rate. And now we need to find one more equation. So we noticed in here, he has 3 times as many government bonds paying the 7, which is your Y, versus the first one, which was your X. So we start like this. He has 3 times as many. So therefore, my Y has to be more. So I have to multiply my X by 3 to give me Y. And get this to one side. So now we have our 3 equations. and we build our matrix. 1, 1, 1, 500,000, watch the zeros, 0.055, 0.07, 0.045, 3,100, 31,000, sorry, and 3, -1, we have a 0 placeholder, RREF, and we'll find out that at X amount, at 5.5%, we have $100,000. At Y, which was 3 times the amount at X, if you remember from our equation, $300,000. And at Z, he had $100,000. And your last one is one of your mixture problems. We notice when we read these that we have a 10-pound bag, 10 pounds altogether, of peanuts, cashews, and raisins. So we're going to let X, and we need to know how much of each. Let X equal the amount of peanuts, Y equal the amount of cashews, and Z equal the amount of raisins. Okay, now, we notice that the peanuts cost $1, the cashews $2, and the raisins $1.50. All together, we had 10 pounds. So there's our first statement. We notice the total cost of the mixture is $14. This is what they're giving us that it cost, $14. So we have to multiply each one by its unit cost. So 1 times X is $1, 2 times Y, and 150 times the amount at Z. There's our second equation. Now we have to look for our third equation. The mixture calls for twice as many peanuts as cashews. So start like this. You have to have more peanuts than cashews. So the cashews have to be small, and if I multiply them by 2, I'll have twice as many. So X equals 2Y. And again, get this to one side. So we build your matrix. 1, 1, 1, 10, 1, 2, 150, and you don't really need the 0. And 1, -2, 0 holder, 0. RREF, we'll sell 4 pounds of peanuts. Our Y is 2 pounds of cashews, and our Z is 4 pounds of raisins. They're all pounds.